Good evening, friends. We are going to introduce second episode of the launching ceremony of the book Drug Traffickers and Intriguing Tentacles of Narcoterrorism, being written by Dr. G. ShreeKumar Menon, IRS retired PhD Narcotics.
After ShreeKumar's inaugural speech, I am the most unsuitable person to speak on the subject because I never enjoyed a drug. मैंने कभी एक सुट्टा भी नहीं लगाया सिगरेट का. Alcohol is a different
ShreeKumar should put a fine on this.
Yes, I'll gladly pay the fine. And there have been instances of drug trafficking and drug taking. And in the film, in the biopic, his name was mentioned. And lately, Shah Rukh Khan's son, I am forgetting his name, Aryan. Incidentally, Shah Rukh Khan's wife is a Hindu. Her name was Gauri Khan. So, hence the name of Aryan. So, the rape parties, his name was mentioned. Because of some highly disposable money in the pockets of the young men and women, and not pursuing outdoor activities, these are the two main causes. And social sanction of allowing the young men and women to indulge in drug enjoyment. These are the three main reasons which I think are responsible for drug enjoyment and proliferation of drug menace. Speaking for myself, I started way back my career in Himachal Pradesh, Kangra district, and in the backlawns, भांग की खेती होती थी, भांग के पौधे उगते थे. I never had an interest in enjoying भांग even भांग. उसको पंजाब में सुक्खा कहते थे, हिमाचल में भी सुक्खा कहते थे. So I never enjoyed even bhang, so to much less to speak on ganja, peen, etc., etc. So I am coming back to the same point. I am most unsuited to speak on the subject. I told Mr. Menon that I share my views on the book after I have gone through that. But congratulations, Mr. Menon, for concentrating attention to this highly controversial menace, and congratulations to the publishers for having brought out this book. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Bureaucracy is Sudhanshu Pandey, who retired as the Secretary Minister of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution, Department of Food and Public Distribution, Government of India. Presently, Sir is holding the charge of Election Commissioner for Union Territories. Sir has been instrumental in implementation of the National Food Security Act and has also played a very important role in shaping India's trade policy, particularly exports of services. Sir, we would love to hear from you some words.
Good afternoon to everyone, respected PMC Gupta, all other distinguished panelists on the occasion of the release, especially our host, Mr. Menon, who has invited all my colleagues sitting off the dais. I would be very brief. First of all, I must congratulate him, because it's a very complex subject and its dimensions are becoming more and more complex in today's world, which is getting driven by technology. And some of the dimensions that are now unexplored are such that they pose a very serious challenge to the state and the state agencies to track and to deal with this menace. At two stages, when initially as a young officer I went to Kashmir, and growing the bhang was a very cannabis plantation was a very regular activity in some parts, especially South Kashmir, not as much in North Kashmir. South. The task for the revenue officers used to be to destroy those fields, get those people and a district magistrate. So that was at the functional level where I got the first opportunity to deal with this problem. And focus of the state was very much there, that no growing of cannabis is allowed. And later on, much later, recently, when I was heading the trade policy of India, and I was chief negotiator for all the major agreements across the world, then I got an opportunity to interact with the UN office of ODC in Vienna, and we used to interact with them very often, because in many trade agreements we have to ensure that how do we put in various clauses that forbids remotely even misuse of any of the provisions of the trade. Because we have seen, and I was just flipping through the book, it has dealt with that. Many of you might know, and that I learned while negotiating trade agreements, that in 17th and 18th centuries, actually, the Brits actually forced a trade deal agreement on China for legalizing the trade in opium. And then